Okay, audience, thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure having you here. Yes. Sorry, as always, I just want to make sure I am seeing what you are seeing. Thank you for joining. I can see no name. Thank you so much. I can't seem to see your name, but thank you so much for joining. Now, for somebody who maybe this is your first time, my name is Sadam Wachiko. Uh, Yes, okay. Everything is fine. The sound is okay, so we're ready to go. Okay. Now, just in case somebody who maybe this is your first time of seeing me, my name is Adamwa Chiko. Thank you for joining. If this is your first time of coming to Tina Talk Show page on this channel, thank you so much. And if you are a returning guest, I want to say thank you so much for coming to continue to support me on this platform. Without you, I cannot do it. Now, the topic that I want to talk about today, okay, I want to talk about this because I know it's very important. My aim for discussing this topic is to bring you to that place of acceptance, to bring you to that place where you begin to understand that you are not perfect. So you can go on to live a fulfilled life. Now, I want to make sure that other people on a different platform are also able to join us. So I'm just going to go ahead now. And audience, please, you are free to share this broadcast, to share it to other people so that they can also be part of it. So I'm going to put it also on my Facebook page, and so that other people can have the opportunity to benefit from this. Okay. All right. So thank you. Just bear with me, please. Do share this page. Do share it, this broadcast. Something beneficial is gonna come out today. Okay. So bear with me, okay? Please bear with me. Okay. Guys, just bear with me. Some people say I should make sure I share it to their platform. So that's what I'm trying to do here, okay? I don't know what to do here. Okay. Okay. So this is it. I've done that. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your patience. If you are just joining or you are watching later, I want to say thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here. Now, today, like I said, I want to talk about very important um, aspect of our lives, something that happens, something that we experience on a daily basis. And my aim, like I said before, my aim for this discussion today, for this topic, bringing it up, is to bring you to that place where you are able to understand how things work and how, to accept and to understand certain things when they happen. For example, the benefit of mistakes. Now, what on earth would mistakes what good can that be to us? But you see, I'm telling you today that if anybody, anyone has ever told you that sometimes we all thrive to be perfect, that being perfect, that perfectionist, we thrive to be that, we do everything possible. But you see, the fact about life or in life is there is no such thing as perfection. There is no such thing as perfection. And I'm gonna bring your understanding to this as I go on. Now, if anyone has ever told you that you need to be perfect, whatever, maybe you have heard it somewhere or you have read it in a book, they have lied to you. That is a myth, is a lie. There is no such thing as perfection, that meaning, because perfection means that the ability not to make mistakes, okay, means that you must not make mistakes. So when you make mistakes, you're not perfect anymore, okay. So I'm going to take you through some, talk you through to the point where you come to understand and accept certain things when they happen to us, okay. It's like, for example, you cannot try to be perfect. It's like, trying to be perfect. At the end of the day, maybe you want to be perfect because you want maybe your tomorrow to be better, and you want the next hour to be perfect, because it's like, for example, getting ready dressing all perfect, you want to look good, and without actually knowing if you're going to be invited to a party. How can you prepare for something you don't even know? How can you dress up? How can you aim to be perfect when you don't even know what tomorrow is going to bring, when you don't have the power to do anything? Okay. Now, the benefit of mistakes is that in the place of our mistakes, we learn. Learning cannot take place. If you are perfect, you cannot learn new ideas. You cannot learn from others. So it's in the place of mistakes that you become aware of other avenues. Okay? You become aware of other ways of doing things. If you thrive to be perfect, like you have never, you don't want to get it wrong, then there's no room. There's not going to be room for knowledge. There's not going to be room for wisdom. There's not going to be room for even trying to experience something. Because it's when you make mistakes, that is when you are able to experience something different. When you make mistakes, that is when you discover something that you have not discovered, that you're not aware of. Okay. So This is why I decided to come and talk about this with you, because sometimes we want to get it right all the time, and that is where we make mistakes. I want you to understand that mistake, one, is part of human existence. You have to make mistakes sometimes, not intentionally. I'm not telling you to make mistakes intentionally, but I am here to let you know that when mistake occurs, that is very important that we accept it, that we understand that in that place of mistakes, that is the place where you can grow. That is where your learning curves happens. Because if you, like I said, if you are perfect, you will not grow beyond where you are. A lot of the businesses that you see today, a lot of people who we deem fit or we think that have made it. The reason why they look good in your eye, we look at what they are doing, is because they have made several mistakes to the point where they become very successful. It's in the place of mistakes that you learn how to do things in a different way. Not because you made a mistake because you did something wrong, but mistakes allow you to see other avenues. Mistakes allow you to see other options. Mistakes allows you to understand that you are not in control of your life. Like I've always said, in this life that we are in, we are not in control of it. You know, when we make mistakes, we see different. When we make mistakes, we understand better. And I tell you, one of the reasons why, we even go to school or we ask for advice is because in some place or in some aspect of our lives, we have gotten it wrong. So I can only ask you a question because I have gotten it wrong the first time and I want to know better. And in me trying to know better, I will even know more that I had thought that I knew before. It will open my horizon. I will be able to understand better and discover other avenues. In the place of mistakes, you achieve so much. Like I've said, you achieve so much, you evolve. Okay, in the place of mistake, you evolve, you understand better, you become a better version of yourself. I have made many mistakes in my life, and I have come to understand that they were not actually mistakes, they were learning, they were a process, because I perhaps was trying to get it best. Sometimes what we see to be right is not actually what we really need. So we go on, take that action, and then realize that, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. I wasn't supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to go to that place. I wasn't supposed to be in association with this person, or I wasn't supposed to be in association with these people. I made a mistake. But the fact is, no, you did not make a mistake. There was something inside of you that needed to learn something. And in order for you to be open to that new idea, you have to make something has to happen that does not suit the moment. Something need to happen. You had to step into that place. You had to get in connection with that person. You had to get involved in a case of relationship, because there's something that you need. There's something that nature wants to give to you. And the only time that you can even prepare yourself or accept it is when you have been in that place that you are not very, very happy about. Once you are in that place, You begin to understand that, oh, I wasn't supposed to be there. Have you been in a situation where, you thought that what you were going to do was the right thing, you know, and you hop onto it to do it, and then you later realize that you were not supposed to be there. You were not supposed to do that. Have you been in that kind of situation? You now realize that you're not supposed to be there, that you've just made a grievous mistake. But the fact is, there was something about you that needed to be learned. There was something in you that needed to acquire some knowledge, that acquire something. And in order for you to even find your place in that place, because if you do not make that mistake, if there's let me put it this way, there's no such thing as mistakes. For everything that we think are mistakes are places of learning, are places of our learning curves, are places of our growing edges. They are places where we need to evolve. And as human beings, sometimes until something happens that that allows us to see that what we want to call mistake, we will not change. Okay. And sometimes this usually happens when shifts are taking place, when life is making that shift in our lives. And in order for us to appreciate it and recognize it, we have to be in a place where we don't want to be in order for us to appreciate where nature is preparing us to be. In order for us to appreciate that place, nature will make us to go to that place or do something you see, sometimes if you've never tried something, you will not value the next thing. Okay. If something never happened, it's like when somebody, maybe sometime you've been in a in relationship, and you think, oh, that you regret, you say, I shouldn't have been there. Maybe you find yourself in a relationship that you are much much more happier, and then you start to say, oh, the other one was a mistake. Then you started to see the other relationship as mistake. No, the fact is, the other relationship was not a mistake. It was a learning curve. It was a place of learning. It was a place of your growing edge. If you pay attention and accept that that was not a mistake, but that was a place of learning for you, so that you would appreciate what is coming for in front, so that you are able to appreciate what is in front of you or what is about to emerge in your life. So I want to understand, be it in relationship, be it in business, be it in any form of whatever you think is mistake, they are not a mistake. They are the place of learning. Something need to shift. Something need to manifest. Something need to happen. A lot of times opportunities come and we don't even know it. You know why? Because we've not made that what we call mistake has not happened. So we don't value, we don't recognize. We don't recognize when something comes. We don't recognize it. But if we have been in that place where we call mistakes, it allows us to recognize something that is coming to us. It allows us to recognize when something better it come to us. So I want you to begin to understand and accept that whatever it is that is happening to you, they are not mistakes. Like, for example, I give an example. Like, I always throw myself into situations so you can understand. My marriage that I had before with my ex-husband, okay, a lot of people, before, I used to think that was a mistake, the worst mistake I've ever done in my life. I used to see it like that. I used to say I made a mistake marrying him. But you see, with time I come to understand that was not a mistake. There was something in that relationship. There was something about that connection that something has to happen. For example, The kind of seed that God wants me to bring to this earth, they had to come through that source. They had to come through that tunnel. So when I look at it, I don't see mistake, but I see and I see me involving. I see a revolution. I see something that was about that needed to happen in my life, and that had to happen. But you see, as human beings, say, "Oh, that was a mistake," but there's nothing that is mistake on this planet Earth. For every step that you take, for every place everything that happens to you, remember, you did not come here by yourself. Someone is responsible for you. Someone is responsible for everything that comes your way. Someone is out there orchestrating the move, every move that you make. Will you call it mistakes? Because to you, you couldn't see the benefits. So that must be a mistake. You call it mistake because you did not, it did not cause you to smile. Sometimes even our challenges in life, we call it mistakes. We call it problems. Or maybe if I've gone to see the doctor, maybe if I've gone to see this, maybe if I've done that, maybe if I've done that, oh, I made a big mistake. I should have taken that medication. Oh, I made a mistake. I should have taken that. There's nothing that is a mistake. Everything that you are going through, everything that you're experiencing, they are not mistakes. Something need to happen. Like I did say before, if you did not, if you did not experience what you call mistake, you will not recognize something else that is coming your way. You see, my aim for the message today is to bring you to that place where you begin to accept when things happen to you, because one of the things I've come to understand that causes depression, anxiety, and all this, bringing yourself to that place where you are able to move, you are able to function effectively. It's our belief system. It's what we are thinking. It's what our perception of the things that are happening around us. We by ourselves call it mistakes. We by ourselves call it failure. We by ourselves give it all sorts of negative names to it. And you know what? All this because we want to define life the way we want it. We want to define ourselves. We want to define things. We name things. We catastrophize situations, even though they are small. We stigmatize situations, we stigmatize things, we victimize people, we victimize ourselves. Listen, that is a system that has been planned, that has been orchestrated, that the society, the way they have chosen what is wrong, what is bad, what is good. I mean, for example, imagine someone who is disabled. How can you say someone is disabled? Because you've got two legs and this other person have one leg, you say this person is not normal. What gives you the place? What makes you think that when you have two legs, that is perfect? What makes you think that the other person with one leg, that was mistake? What makes you think that? What makes you think that the person with one leg is a mistake? And the one with two legs, that one is perfect. You see, that is against society classifying everything. But you see, what that classifications has done is bring people to that place where they are not flourishing, to that place where they blame themselves, they curse themselves, they become unhappy with themselves, they become so disappointed with themselves, they become so depressed with themselves, they become so fearful with themselves. Why? Because they are not they have not attained that level that the society says is okay or that is perfect. It's like when you fail an exam is being set. Imagine an exam, a study of 5 years, and the society, the government took up just 1 day or 2 days, just 2 days, for you to prove that you are intelligent, for you to prove that you are smart. Just 2 days to prove. You see, exams are not a yardstick to ascertain who is smart and who is clever. Remember, I give an example. Some people might be smart, very intelligent, but exams, to sit down on exam might not be the best for them. Why? Because they might have that thing about them, about exams. They panic. Maybe such student didn't know how to change from the exam, taking exams, as opposed to do like coursework. Maybe more practical. They are more the practical types. And when it comes to exam, like, define this now, explain this now, what is the formula for this now? They panic. Now, when they fail, you think that was a mistake? No. That failure in that exam will allow the person to understand that this is a place where they have learned that exam is not for them. That what is for them is coursework, is a place where they can do more of practical. So for everything that happened to us, is for us to learn something. Is for us to learn something. So don't be disappointed when you make mistakes. You need to learn. You need to learn to accept it. Take the learning that comes when you fall. You know, you could be walking and you don't look very well where you are going, and you hit your foot, you dash it on a stone. Ah, how stupid I am. Ah, I made a very big mistake. I wasn't watching. We will be quick to do that. You see, what that one mistake has come to teach you will not only benefit you for next time you are walking, to look very well, to make sure there is no stone or bricks or any stumbling blocks on the way. What that one lesson, why it happened, is it happened because you need to learn to be very, very vigilant. Now remember, you have just stepped hit your foot on a stone, and then something come to you. I should have looked very well. I should have watched where I was going. I should have checked. I should have been vigilant. You see, that your brain now start to recognize, to be careful, to be vigilant, to look very well, to look before you leap. It will now transcend to other areas of your lives. So what I'm saying here is, for every mistake that happened has come to teach you something because of somewhere that you are going. It might not be something that is happening now, but it's preparing you for the future. It's preparing you for where you are about to emerge into. So my aim, my purpose is to bring you to that place where you will flourish in your thinking, in your mind, because the mindset is a very powerful place. And until we begin to understand that the mind plays a major role in our lives, the mind, what is the mind? The mind is the place where, if you do not nurture it effectively, you will come to that place where you cannot flourish. And my aim and my desire is to bring you to that place where you are able to understand certain things about life. Sometimes we plan our life, just like I said before earlier, trying to attain perfection is like trying to get ready, try to perfectly dress for a party you don't even know if you're going to be invited. You've not even been invited, but you're getting all ready for it. When you are not in control of the time, when you are not in control of anything, and you are already ready. But when you know the time, at least you'll be able to know. So if you don't know what tomorrow holds, listen. If you read in a book, whatever book on this planet Earth that you read that tells you that God says you need to run the race perfect, they are lying to you. It's a myth. God cannot tell you to be perfect. Listen to this. God cannot tell you to be perfect when he now also come to make us to understand the benefit of forgiveness. So forgiveness can only take place in a place of mistakes. When you offend someone, that is a mistake. That is something you've done that is wrong. Mistakes is something that you don't intend to happen, and it happened, or something you knowing or unknowingly do. And sometimes things that we think we did it knowingly is actually is being orchestrated. I'm telling you. So nothing, if there is such thing as forgiveness, then that means mistakes is inevitable. So we need to learn to accept our mistakes. Inside what you call mistakes, there are so much learning inside of it. Because inside your mistakes, there's so much in it. When you are not paying attention to something, mistake occur, isn't it? When you are not paying attention, that is one way. Okay, when you're not paying attention to something, mistake happens, right? And there are other times we are paying attention and still mistakes happens. You know why? Because there is something about us that needs to be recognized. And in the place of mistakes, you are able to recognize that there's such thing as other options. So our mistakes allows us to thrive better. Our mistakes allows us to rebuild ourselves. Our mistakes allows us to reinvent ourselves. Our mistakes allows us to think like we've never done before. Mistakes come to teach us. Mistakes come to elevate us. If only we understand that whenever mistakes happen, why did this mistake happen? Why did I make this mistake? You call it mistake because you want to be in control. That is the only reason why we think we make mistakes. We want to take control. But when we make that mistakes, is what do we learn from it? That is very important. I am not encouraging the mistakes, but I'm saying when we make what we call mistakes, what we call problems, when something that we didn't plan to happen happens. Now, the question is, why did I make this mistake in doing this? What was the reason why I made this mistake? What is the learning here for me? What has this taught me? What is the difference? Has it saved me? Has it destroyed me? So mistakes has come to teach us something. Mistake has come to teach us to evaluate our lives again. Sometimes we make wrong choices. Those are mistakes. Because wrong choices are something you would not intentionally want to do, but you've done it. You make that decision and you regret it because that's not what you want to do. That is not where how you want to be, but you've done it. Now, where I want to draw your attention is when that happens, don't stick with the mistake, but take the learning that is in the mistake, because the mistakes has come for us to correct something in our lives. Mistakes allows us to correct to correct something that is not right. Mistakes happen because they want to prepare us. There's something about us that want to emerge. And in order for us to recognize that manifestation, we need to be in that place where we call mistakes. Like I earlier said, we call it mistakes because we do not approve of it. But what have you ever thought? What if God has approved of it? What if what we call mistakes? Maybe, for example, you're watching me right now. You've had a baby out of wedlock, and you say, this is a mistake. I shouldn't have had a child with this person. That is your own judgment. That's what you think, because you think that was a mistake because you have designed yourself. You have created what is perfect for you. What is a perfect life? What is right? You have tick the boxes. You want to tick the boxes. I want my life like this. I want life. So God created you, designed you, and you want to design your own design. That is why you think that having that child out of wedlock is a mistake. But have you ever thought about the creator himself? Have you ever thought, do you think that having a baby is just a woman producing the eggs and the sperm comes and fertilizes it? Do you think that's what created the baby? Life is deeper than that. Life is deeper than just coming together and then the fetus comes. Life is deeper than that. What you may call mistakes might just be what God wants to do. You think, oh, that child was a mistake because the person who bred that child is not someone you would normally want to be with. But the fact is, you are not in control. That is your own design. But someone has designed it before. You see, when a car manufacturer produces a car, he has already designed it. So when the mechanic comes to try to redesign it, it's not going to work. And sometimes you see when they panabit the car, try to change this and change that, when they try to change from, let's say, for example, a car manufacturer produces a car and put the steering wheel on the right-hand side, and the mechanic comes and turn it to the right-hand side. Such car, there's always a problem. because that was not the original design from the manufacturer. There's always a problem when you move the engine from here to here or the wheels from here to here. That was not the original position, that it was designed, sketched out of how the car was supposed to be. So this is what we do most of the time. We want to redesign what God has already designed. We want to recreate what God has already recreated. If you have a child outside, that is because that is what the creator wants. We like I always said, we are guardians, we are carers. Children don't belong to us. We don't own them. There will be a time they would grow and they will leave. That's because you don't own them. You may be watching me right now. Are you still under your parents? Maybe not. It's because they don't own you. It comes to that point where they've done what they had to do, and nature just prompts you to leave home. And sometimes, if you are lucky, they call you on the phone, and sometimes you have to even beg it. You have not called me since 1 year. You've not called me since 1 month. What is happening? You are now begging it because they don't belong to you. So my aim of this is to rechannel your mind to the place where it's supposed to be, to understand. Because it's because we do not understand, that is why depression comes. You see, ask people. I have been with clients that are depressed, and I have seen that majority of the time, the reason why people are depressed is because they are not happy, because they blame themselves, is because they are not happy, is because of what they think is right is not what is happening to them. Yes, sometimes there are things that happens to us that can interact with our mindset, with the way that we see things. It can be very destructive. But you see, no matter what has happened to you, no matter what has happened to us, as long as you are still standing, you are still watching me right now, you are still smiling, you are still able to wake up, you need to understand that those things, though they've happened to you, but that they are in the past now. If I am standing still now, if I'm still up and still standing, it simply means that I am bigger than what happened to me. It means that there's something greater about me that is greater than what has happened to me. Anything that does not kill you is a process. Did you hear that? Anything that has not killed someone is a process. You have just been through a pruning process in your life. You have just gone through the fire. You have just gone through the furnace. Gold is not gold shining until it's gone through the refiner, through the fire. Yes, gold is gold. You find it from the ground. It's natural. You dig it out, clean it and everything. But until you wash it, you clean it, it goes through the fire, through the process. You are like the gold that needs to go through the fire because you need to shine. Something about you need to shine out. So going through those processes, maybe you might be raped. Maybe you may have been raped. Maybe you have been to prison. Maybe you're going through a divorce. Maybe you've been through a relationship that ended, that did not work out. Maybe you've gone through so much rejection. Maybe you've been through many disappointment. But you see, those are process. As long as you are still standing, as long as you're still able to wake up, those are process. There's something about you that is bigger than what you have been through. There's something about you that is greater than where you are coming from. If that thing kills you, that means that it's bigger than you. Anything that kills you, I mean killing as in death. Because what causes depression is how we see what is happening. When you fall into depression, that is because you have allowed what happened to you to interfere with your life, to interfere with who you are. When depression kicks in, it's because you don't have clearer understanding. And that is my mission. My mission is to do the best that I can to help you to understand that if that thing you've been through, if those mistakes that you call mistakes, if they didn't kill you, that is enough for you to appreciate and don't call it mistakes anymore. What you call problems, they are preparations. You see, we call problems anything that we don't like, anything that is uncomfortable, anything that we are displeased about. We call it problem. Oh, so many problems. I've got so many problems in my head. I've got so many problems. Those are not problems. Yes, sometimes we can get overwhelmed by them. But my mission right now is to bring it to that place where you begin to understand that those are process. They are not a problem. You're calling them problem because they are uncomfortable. But when you begin to understand that they are process, that they are preparation, your mental state will be in a better place. So I will conclude by saying and reminding you and leaving this note with you that your best and your greatest teacher, is your last mistake. Because your last mistakes will teach you, will take you to that place of growth, will take you to that place where you begin to learn new things, will take you to that place where you learn and recognize where you are going. You see, when a child keeps falling, they now learn how not to fall. So next time, before they fall, they hold their ground. So for every day you wake up, there are mistakes that may occur. And the reason why they are occurring, because there's something you need to learn today because of tomorrow. You are learning, you made a mistake today because there's something about you. There's something that's going to happen. There's something that's about to come tomorrow. And in order for you to recognize it when it comes tomorrow, is for you to be where you are today, making those mistakes. So mistakes are part of our lives. Mistakes allows us to learn. Mistakes allows us to grow. Mistakes allows us to have a better version of ourselves. So I am here to say to you, when something happened to you that you may call mistakes, I want to begin to see it as a process. This mistake that I've just made, what has it taught me? It will teach you to be careful next time. If you do not make that mistakes, you will not be careful because there's something that is about to emerge and you need to be careful about that so you don't lose it, or so that you don't so that you can recognize it, value it. You're not going to respect it because you have not made mistakes. So when we make mistakes to run fast and we crash, we will not learn how not to repeat the same thing in the future. We will not learn how not to do the same or the same action what we did last time. We will not learn, because in the future there's something greater that is waiting for us. So in order for us to appreciate, recognize it, and keep it, and kind of like flourish in it, this mistake has to happen today, so that we can recognize, so that we can appreciate where we are going. So, my message to you is appreciate, embrace, accept mistakes, because mistakes are benefits to our lives. So, thank you so much, audience. If this is your first time of coming to this channel, I want to say thank you. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, because every now and again I will be popping up to bring you something that I'm inspired to bring to you. And please also don't forget to press the notification bell, because whenever I come up, YouTube will alert you that I am up. And you know, my aim is that you flourish in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul. God does not want you to be stagnant. God does not want you to be depressed. God does not want you to be afraid of anything. He wants you to understand that He is in charge, and you just need to sleep like a baby and know that someone is in control. Aren't you tired of trying to protect yourself? Aren't you try to get it right? Aren't you tired of trying to get to perfection? Each time you try to be perfect, something else is happening. It's because you are not in control. And until you understand that, stay back and allow God to lead. Until you learn to do that, you will constantly. You see, what I'm telling you, also tell it to myself. Okay? What I tell it to myself. Sometimes when I am down and also feeling like I've made that mistakes, I learn I learn from the mistakes, and God always put people around me to remind me that I am not in control, but that God is in control. So that is the same role I'm playing in your life. God always will send that one person to come and tell you something that will allow you to stop worrying. Yes, sometimes we can worry, but don't worry to the point where we cannot function anymore. That is the message for today. Do not worry about mistakes to the point where you are not able to function. Thank you so much. Until next time, where I will come. Okay? And please, if you like this, um, comment. I want to know what you think. I want to know if you've learned one or two things. If there's something I need to do better, I'll need to know that. Okay, please comment and like and share. If you think you have enjoyed it, you have taken something from it, don't you think maybe somebody else might benefit from it? You share it to them, okay? And thank you so much. My other YouTube, you can find my other programs on Facebook, Tina Talk Show, and also on Instagram. I'm there. You can also follow me there on Tina Talks Show. Okay, please go there and follow. You can see the other things that I post up there, other motivational topics that I deal on other platforms. Thank you so much, and don't forget also my talk shows that comes up. Support the support the channel as well. When you do that, you're also supporting everyone that comes on Tina Talk Show page for to share their story. I'm going to also use the opportunity, please, if you are watching right now and there's a story you want to share to empower somebody, Tina Talk Show, this page, this platform, yes, I come up every now and again to motivate you, to bring to that place where you're able to think properly, because that is what I want. My desire is that you flourish. My desire is that you discover who you are and flourish in that place of heaven. Okay. So if you have a story that you think that somebody can learn from it, please, that experience, that knowledge is the beauty of what you are doing. Come on my talk show, Tina Talk Show. I'm sure down or below there are other my other videos that you can learn from, not just from me, but also from my guest on the show. Thank you so much and